Yo, what up guys, this is your boy Legendary here, and today people we're going to be doing another deck profile. We're going to be doing Sawatari Shingo, New Sawatari. We're going to be doing his Abyss Actor Pendulum deck today. That's a really fun deck. I really love this deck a lot. It's actually probably one of my favorite decks of all time. Probably top 10 somewhere there, I'm not sure where, but definitely top 10. This deck is very strong. It is a pure Pendulum deck, so I didn't add any of the Yosenju stuff in here. That'll be part of its separate deck profile. The last one, I believe, was Abyss Actors mixed with Yosenju's mixed with whatever other cards he had. So it was built kind of similarly to Chaz's deck, where it has a little bit of everything. But in this one, it's going to be a pure Abyss Actor build using the new support that he got a while back from that rival set or whatever. So yeah, it's gonna be good. He got some really good support too. But yeah, so let's just hop right into it. We got his ace monster, Abyss Actor Superstar. It's a really amazing card. He's cool. He's really cool. He has a good effect. I'm not gonna read through all the effects, but I will read through the new cards effects because they're really strong. Next, we got the 0 scale Abyss Actor Mellow Madonna. This is one of the new support cards. This card is absolutely amazing. The first thing you gotta do in this deck before anything is search this card out. You have multiple ways of doing it, so don't worry about it. If you gotta take some damage, don't worry about taking some damage. Search this card out as soon as possible because she's a 0 scale, which is great. And on top of that, her Pendulum effect is you can pay 1,000 life points, add 1 Abyss Actor Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. You can pretty much search out any one of your monsters from your deck, any of them. So usually, typically, if you have this card, you'll search out your 9 scale or your 8 scale. So that way you can set your scales and then you could Pendulum summon. Its monster effect is gains 100 attack for each Abyss Script spell card in your graveyard. So hasn't popped up too much for me quite yet. I usually just have her in the scale anyway, so that isn't applied that much. And then her other effect is when a Pendulum monster you control is destroyed by battle, you could special summon this card from the hand. Okay, I haven't used that effect yet. If an Abyss Script spell card or effect is activated, you can special summon a level 4 lower Abyss Actor Pendulum monster from your deck but return it to the hand. So mainly I just use this card because it's a scale 0 and for its Pendulum effect. I haven't even summoned this card yet actually and used its monster effects because I always just set it in the scale right away so I could Pendulum summon and search my cards and go off. Really amazing card, really great Pendulum effect, really great scale, fantastic card. We got Abyss Actor Littlestar. This card hasn't come out in the TCG yet, I don't think. This card just gives your monsters multiple attacks, and that's it. But it's a 9 scale, so it's good. So if you have your 0 scale and your 9 scale, you can Pendulum summon anything between 1 and 8. So that's pretty much all your Abyss Actor monsters. So that's great that we finally have a 0 scale and a 9 scale together. And then we got the originals. We got Evil Heel and Funky Comedian. Really awesome. We got Leading Lady. We got Comic Relief. This is also a new card. He's kind of an interesting card. He's at scale 8, which is awesome. His effect is you can target an Abyss Actor Pendulum monster you control and one other monster your opponent controls and switch the targets of those monsters and destroy this card. So let's say you summon one of your weak Abyss Actor Pendulum monsters. You activate this effect. You switch your weak monster with your opponent's monster. Now they have a really weak monster. Then you run over that monster. It'll die, but it'll go to face up to your Pendulum zone instead because it's your monster. So that's kind of how you can use that effect. But yeah, I haven't used that effect yet, but it's still a good card. Its monster effect is you take no battle damage from battles involving this card. So that's cool. You could ram it into something. You won't take any damage. Once per turn during your standby phase, give control of this card to your opponent. Once per turn, if control of this face-up card changes, activate this effect. The owner of this card can destroy one set Abyss Script spell card from the Spell and Trap card zone. So basically the reason for that is a lot of the Abyss Script spell cards, when they're destroyed by an opponent's card effect while they're set on the field, they activate their extremely busted effects. Extremely busted. They all have very powerful effects. So this will allow you to summon it on the field. Is it during my standby phase? Let me see. During my next standby phase, yeah. So if this survives during my next standby phase, I can switch control of this to my opponent. and then right away they're forced to pop one of my spells or traps on the field, and then their effects will trigger when they're destroyed. So that's kind of what it's there for, to kind of help manipulate your opponent into purposely popping your Abyss Scripts. Then we got 2 copies of Wild Hope. We got 2 copies of Sassy Rookie. We got 1 copy of Trendy Understudy, pretty cool. We got 2 copies of Abyss Actor Curtain Riser, not a bad card. And then we have 3 copies of Abyss Actor Extras. I added that because you can never have too many extras, right? But yeah, like literally in a screen, like when you're doing a movie, you can never really have too many extras, you know, in the background or whatever. This is amazing because this will allow you summon it, normal summon it onto the field, pendulum summon it, whatever. You tribute it off, search out your Mellow Madonna, set your Mellow Madonna, pay 1,000 life points, search your 9 scale or your 8 scale, set the pendulum. Now you have your scales already set with just this 1 card by itself. So this card is amazing. So having 3 of these is really cool. Really helps kind of speed through the deck a lot. So just having this card right away is just amazing because it searches out all the pieces you need because of Mellow Madonna. And then we have 2 copies of Lightning Hoverboard from the anime. You attribute this card to search out a level 6 or higher monster from your deck to your hand. You can search out your Ace or I think Evil Heal or whatever, and that's pretty much it. And then Mobius the Frost Monarch, which is just a tech card from when he ran a Mobius deck. I added this card because, you know, it's a 1 tribute card and, you know, it pops spells and traps, and he could use ways to get rid of his opponent's spells and traps. Alright, so that's the monsters right there. We're going to get into the spell cards, the main juice of it all. So now we got the field spell, a brand new field spell for the deck. It's called Abyss Playhouse Fantastic Theater. So this is actually a really great field spell for the Abyss actors. It really helps them do what they need to do. And so yeah, its effect reads: you can reveal 1 Abyss actor Pendulum Monster and 1 Abyss Script spell card in your hand. So reveal both of them in your hand, and then add 1 Abyss Script spell card from your deck to your hand with a different name than the card revealed. So that's good. You just search another Abyss Script, so now you have 2, and they're really strong. While you control a Pendulum Summoned Abyss Actor monster, Pendulum Monster, any monster effect activated by your opponent becomes destroy 1 set spell trap card your opponent controls. You can only use each of these effects once per turn. So like I said, this card just helps you manipulate. So once per turn, you can reveal an Abyss Actor and an Abyss Script to search out another Abyss Script, and then whenever your opponent activates a monster effect, its effect is changed and becomes destroy 1 set spell or trap card your opponent controls. So instead of activating that monster effect, it just changes to this effect. I think that's how it works. If not, well, you still get to pop something. I don't know if the effect goes through or if it gets negated. It doesn't say that, but yeah, so basically it becomes that. So if you have a monster effect that says once per turn you can destroy a monster your opponent controls, that effect will instead become destroy 1 set spell or trap card your opponent controls. So they'll be forced to pop your Abyss Scripts, which once they go off, the whole deck goes off. So yeah, we got Abyss Script King, Abyss Script Rise of the Abyss King. This allows you to target face-up cards on the field up to the number of Abyss active monsters with different names you control and destroy them. So essentially, you can, for every face-up Abyss active Pendulum monster you control that's in attack position, you could destroy cards your opponent controls. So it's really cool. You could pop a bunch of stuff. If you control level 7 or higher, your opponent can't change to this. And then if this set card is destroyed by an opponent card effect, which is what the field spell helps you do, you can add up to 2 Abyss active cards and or Abyss Script spell cards with different names from your deck to your hand. So that's good. That allows you to add up to 2 basically Abyss cards from your deck to your hand. So really powerful search card right there. The field spell helps you manipulate that. Abyss Script, you gain 500 for each Abyss actor you control on the field, and then if this card is destroyed while in the back row, while it's set, you can draw until you have 5 cards in your hand. So it's kind of like a Card of Sanctity, the anime effect. So that's really powerful. When this goes off, it's so great. You gain your 500 or whatever. You have cards that can reset it from the graveyard onto the field. Then you can pop it. You can pop it and then draw cards. So it's really good. We got Abyss Script Fantasy Magic. Basically, every time an Abyss actor monster you control that you targeted with this card attacks, at the end of the damage step, I think after it attacks, you return that monster to the hand if it wasn't destroyed by that battle. And then if this card is destroyed, in the back row, you can target one card in your opponent controls and place it on the top of the deck. So one thing you got to keep in mind with this deck, with these cards, is a lot of them say if it's destroyed by a card effect and you have a face-up Abyss active Pendulum monster in your extra deck. So make sure you always have at least one face-up Abyss actor in your extra deck. Always make sure you have that, because otherwise these effects won't go off. A lot of these effects won't go off. So just make sure you always have one. So don't worry about swarming the field. Make sure you always have one, even if it's just an Abyss Actor extras on the field. Just make sure you always have one face up. Don't ever special summon all of them. Make sure you always have one left. Anyway, then we got a new support card as well. Abyss Script, Abyss Tainment, continuous spell. You can tribute one Abyss Actor monster, then target one Abyss Script spell card in your graveyard and set it. So this card is great. You tribute your Abyss Actor, you instantly get any of your Abyss Scripts, set it face down, and then you can just activate it. If this set card in its owner control is destroyed by a card effect, blah blah blah, you can special summon any number of Abyss Actor Pendulum monsters from your deck. Any number. So this has a powerful effect. So if they pop that, you could just swarm the field with a bunch of Abyss Actor Pendulum monsters from your deck. So very powerful once again. Then we got Abyss Script. It's a quick play spell card. Abyss Script Romantic Terror. It's a new card. Return one Abyss Actor Pendulum monster you control to the hand, and if you do special summon from your extra deck in defense position, one face up Abyss Actor Pendulum monster with a different original name from that monster. If this set card in its owner control, so if this card is popped, its effect will be you can set any number of Abyss Script spell cards directly from your deck. So that's very powerful. So let's say this is destroyed, you special summon as many Abyss Actor monsters, Pendulum monsters from your deck on the field, just summon them, and then if this card is destroyed, you could set any number of Abyss Scripts from your deck face down. So it allows you to just swarm the field and completely fill out your whole field if both of these are popped in the same turn. And then you can go off activating all your Abyss Scripts and just attack with all your Pendulum monsters. So these two are really cool, really powerful. Then we got Abyss Script Fire Dragon's Lair. This allows you to target an Abyss Active monster you control. If it destroys an opponent's monster by battle this turn, your opponent banishes 3 monsters from their extra deck, their choice. So that's very powerful. You could really kind of mess up a lot of decks with just this. And then if this card is popped, you can look at your opponent's extra deck and also banish 1 monster from their extra deck. So basically just helps you get rid of your opponent's extra deck. So against Yusei, against any Yusei, Jaden, or whatever, you could really mess up their plays by getting rid of a lot of their extra deck monsters. Because this is a pure Pendulum deck, so this won't ever affect you anyway. We got Abyss Script. This is an anime card. Abyss Script Heavenly Evil Spirit. Every opponent's monster that battles an Abyss Active monster you control this turn, its attack becomes equal to its defense during the battle phase only. So some trickery stuff. It's nothing crazy like these. Maybe if this gets remade in a TCG effect, they'll give it a better effect, but it's just like a really, basic effect, nothing too crazy. We got Abyss Prop Wild Wagon. The first time an Abyss Active monster you control will be destroyed by battle, each turn it is not destroyed. Once per turn you can target an Abyss monster you control. Your opponent cannot target it with card effects until the end of the turn. Then if this card is popped, like usual, you can return all cards your opponent controls to the hand. So this is really powerful right here. Look at that. So if this card gets popped, set face down, you can return all cards your opponent controls to the hand. So that's actually really busted. That's really, really destructive right there. Oh my gosh. This deck is ridiculous, man. It's crazy how it's so unique how this deck works, because it wants you to pop them. It wants you to destroy them so that you can get off the really broken effects. And then you have your field spell and I think one other card that helps you manipulate that. So it's really cool. Abyss Performance. It's a quick play spell card from the anime. When an Abyss Active monster you control destroys an opponent's monster by battle, it becomes half its current attack, and if it does, it can attack again. That's pretty much it. So it gives you a second attack. I added a Pendulum support card, Pendulum Shift, Quick Play spell card, you know, just to manipulate your scales. You probably don't need this card anymore because now you have your 0 scale and your 9 scale, so you probably don't need this, but it's still good to have just in case if you have, you know, the wrong scales in your hand and you want to manipulate it for that turn. It's helpful. I added Pot of Riches to the deck. He doesn't have this card obviously either, but I added it because it's a Pendulum support card, and in order to fill out the deck I kind of needed to add some more cards, and this is a very good card just for Pendulums in general. I felt like it fits, and you know, Sawatari is a rich boy, so Pot of Riches would make sense. He's kind of a spoiled brat like that. So yeah, Pot of Riches. I felt like it still worked in theme with him. Then we got the anime card release trade. You tribute a monster you control and then add a monster from your deck to your hand that's one level higher than that monster, so can help you search out some stuff that you need. Close Cricket. Target 2 spell cards you control and 1 card your opponent controls this turn. Their effects are negated, so I guess you can negate your Pendulum scales, negate their effects, which won't even matter, but you can negate their effects and then target a card your opponent controls and negate that effect. So pretty good to get out around some stuff. And then we got Mystical Space Typhoon. And then finally for the traps, we got Pendulum Reborn, just for a generic Pendulum card, because he just needed more cards to fill out the deck. So Pendulum Reborn. We got an anime card, Abyss Impromptu Play Improv, such a complicated name. When a monster on the field battles an opponent's monster during damage calculation, target a level 4 or Abyss active monster you control, except the battling monster. Any battle damage inflicted from that battle is increased by that target monster's attack. So pretty interesting. We got Abyss Actor Backstage. So this card basically, if you have your 2 Abyss Actors in your scales, you can add 2 Abyss Active Pendulum monsters with different names from your deck, or from your deck to your extra deck face up, and then you can Pendulum summon right after that. So pretty cool. Allows you to just get your Pendulum monsters straight out from the deck like that, so that's awesome. Then the new support trap card that they got is Abyss Actor's Curtain Call. If an Abyss Script spell card or effect is activated this turn, add face up Abyss Active Pendulum monsters from your extra deck to the hand up to the number of Abyss Script spell cards in your graveyard. Then special summon Abyss Active Pendulum monsters from your hand with different names up to the number of monsters added to the hand by this effect. You cannot special summon monsters for the turn except Abyss Active Pendulums. You can only activate 1 of these per turn. So essentially what this does is, so you can add Abyss Active Pendulum monsters from your extra deck up to the number of Abyss Script spell cards in your graveyard. Then you can special summon those monsters from your hand. So it's kind of like an extra Pendulum summon. So if you already Pendulum summon that turn and you have a bunch of Pendulum monsters in your extra deck and a bunch of Abyss Scripts in your graveyard, you could just add all of them back. Well, you can add as many of them from your extra deck up to the number of scripts you have in your grave to your hand, and then just summon them all on the field, kind of like a second Pendulum summon. It's like a Pendulum summon, but it's not a Pendulum summon. So yeah, pretty cool. Allows you to swarm the field. And then Breakthrough Skill, he actually has this card, believe it or not, in the anime. So Breakthrough Skill is obviously good. I don't need to explain that card. It just negates a monster effect anyway. But yeah. Anyway, guys, that's the deck for you guys. The Abyss Active deck is very strong, very powerful deck. It's a lot of fun to use. It can get going very quickly. And those new support cards really helped out a lot. Specifically, Madonna really helped out. I feel like that's, like, the other cards are really great, but I feel like she really makes it stand out, because once you search her out, you set her, pay your 1,000, search out your 9 scale, great, now you have your scale set, and then you can Pendulum summon whatever you want from your hand. And it just really goes off like that. A bunch of the other, like, level 4 lowers, I think Leading a Lady or Wild Hope or whoever, like, when they're destroyed by battle or card effect, you could search a Pendulum, an Abyss Active from your deck, and then another one searches out, I think, the Abyss Scripts and whatever. So this deck goes off, and it can go off very quickly, and it can be really aggressive. Like, you could swarm the field with 5 monsters and just start attacking and go for game. Like, it could win in 1 turn if you just play it right. So just make sure you're very careful with how you use it, what you add to your hand at what time, and the order in which you do it. But once you do it, it's just like, it becomes very difficult to get over, very difficult. And those Abyss Scripts are so powerful. So if you get those Abyss Scripts seconds effects off, it's ridiculous. And Ceremony is really good because you could just gain 500. You could gain 500 for every Abyss monster you control, and then on top of that, you have cards that allow you to reset it from your graveyard, so you can activate it again. So don't worry about paying life points and taking some damage. You'll gain all of that back, plus extra. So Sawatari's Abyss Active deck, very good, very powerful. I love it a lot. It's one of my favorite decks of all time. Very strong. Highly recommend you guys use it. And yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. God bless you guys. See you guys in the next one. Gotcha!